hear exactly where you.
What's up, folks? Boy J Bone here. We're going to go through the list of genders that they have listed here. This is authored by Shazia Al-Arkaha and Paula V. whatever that is, Siog Udiker. Medically reviewed on 2/9 of 24. Disease and conditions, healthy relationships. Genders, all 72 genders. Today's age, one does not need to fit in with regards to their choice, including their gender identity. You kind of should. Gender is no more regarded as a binary concept where one can either be a male or a female. It has emerged as a continuum or a spectrum where one can identify themselves as any of the other identities. Where do you unpack this at? Let's keep on reading. The term gender identity means how a person identifies themselves concerning their gender. It may be regardless of their anatomy or genetics. Thus, a person may identify themselves as a male, female, none, both, or some other category independent of their genitals. The idea is to make everyone feel comfortable in their skin irrespective of what gender they were assigned at birth. All 72 gender lists. Okay. Number 1, agender. A person who does not identify themselves with or experience any gender. Agender people are also called null gender, genderless, gender void, or neutral gender. Lord. Here's a by me gender. So it was being profound, deep, and infinite. The term abimengender may be used alone or in combination with other genders. It's like a log card. Adamus gender, a gender that is indefinable. Or indomitable. People saying identifying with this gender refuse to be categorized in any particular gender identity. AERO gender, arrogender, also called evasive gender. This gender identity changes according to one's surroundings. Oh, so you're like a shapeshifter, I see. Kind of like a chameleon gender. That's what that is. Affect you gender. This is based on the person's mood swings or fluctuations. Agender flux. A person with this gender identity is mostly a gender with brief shifts of belonging to other gender types. Alex EI gender. The person has fluid gender identity between more than one type of gender, although they cannot name the genders they are fluid in. So they're making up shit, and it's fine. It's cool. Whatever. They haven't had nothing behind it, but it's fine. You're going to have to believe it, because if not, you're racist, or feminist, or you're a fucking horrible person, you know? Alias gender. This gender identity stands apart from existing social gender constructs. It means having a strong specific gender identity that is neither male nor female. Amari gender, having a gender identity that changes depending on the person one is emotionally attached to. Jesus, man. Ambigender, having two specific gender identities simultaneously without any fluidity or fluctuations. Wow. Ambo neck. What? The person identifies himself as both man and woman and yet does not belong to either. I'm sorry, I have to laugh at this. Amica gender. A gender fluid identity where a person changes their gender depending on the friends they have. Androgyne. Sounds like a cream for your fucking hemorrhoids. A person feels a combination of feminine and masculine genders. A Nessie gender. The person feels close to a specific type of gender despite being more comfortable and closely identifying themselves with another gender. Who remembers all this shit? It's like, oh, here's the angenital. The person desires to be without any primary sexual characteristics, although they do not identify themselves as a gender, so that means you're a rock. Anon gender. The gender identity fades in and out in intensity, but always comes back to the same gender feeling. You've lost that gender feeling. Oh, that gender feeling. Ma'am, you look like you've lost it. That gender feeling. Anti-gender. Ante? A protein gender, not like food protein. Protein. Not like in teenager either. Tean, I don't understand that. That can be anything but is formless and motionless. Anxigender. This gender identity has anxiety as its prominent characteristic. No shit. Apigender. We call that anxiety. The person has apathy or lack of feeling towards... That means being empathetic. That's what that means. It's not a fucking apiconsungender. Means knowing what are not the characteristics of gender, but knowing what are its characteristics. Thus, a person hides its primary characteristics from the individual. Astrogender. The person has a bright and celestial gender identity. Knew it. Astrogender, yeah. Imagine that. Astrogender. How about astroglide? Having a gender identity that feels to be related to space. Autigender. Having a gender identity that feels closely related to being... Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think autistic people care how they identify. Axigender. Gender is... Wait. Autogender. Having gender experience that is deeply connected in person to oneself. A axigender. A gender identity that is between the two extremes of a gender and any other type of gender. Both genders are experienced. You know what? This is bigender. Having two gender identities at the same or different time. Biogender. Having a gender that is closely related to nature. It's called an outdoor gay. Blur gender. It's also called gender fuss. Blur gender means having more than one gender identities that blur into each other so that no particular type of gender identity is clear. So then people don't know what to call you. So whenever they call you, can we call you boy flux? This person identifies himself as a male, but they experience varying degrees of male identity. This may range from feeling a gender to completely male. Burst gender. A frequent burst of intense feelings quickly move to the initial calm stage. 33. Gender. This gender identity shares the qualities of aesthetics of outer space. Cass gender. Has something to do with Mama Cass? Is associated with the feelings of considering the gender irrelevant or unimportant. Cass flux. Number 35. This is a fluctuating intensity of irrelevance towards gender. It's called angst. Yep. Number 36. Cavus gender. This person hates caves probably. The person feels close to one gender when depressed and to another when not depressed. It's called playing both sides of the street. Number 37. Sengender. This gender identified changes from one gender to its opposite. Shapeshifter again. Pseudogender. It's a non-binary gender where the person has specific masculine, feminine, or neutral feelings. Shapeshifter. Number 39. Cedar fluid. It sounds like something you would put on your grill. Although the person is a cedar gender, their identity keeps fluctuating between different... God damn it. Cisgender. Being closely related to the gender assigned at birth during the entire life. Cloud gender. Oh my God. Please tell me it's not really... This person's gender cannot be comprehended or understood due to depersonalization and derealization disorder. What does that even mean? Depersonalization? So someone took it from you? Cold gender. Various genders are present at the same time in an individual, so a group of them. Color gender. In this category, colors are used to describe gender. For example, pink gender or black gender. Sounds racist to me. Combo gender. This person knows that they are not cisgender yet continues to identify as one for a while. Condo gender, like condiments. This person feels their gender only under specific circumstances. Delicia gender. Associated with the feelings of having multiple genders but preferring one over the other. It's called having a choice. Number 47. Demifluid. Having a multiple genders. Some fluid with others are static. 48. Demiflux. A combination of multiple genders with some gender static, whereas others fluctuating in intensity. Whatever that means. Demigender. The individual has partial traits of one gender and the rest of the other gender. No, you don't. Dom gender. This individual has multiple genders with one dominating over the rest. It's called multiple personalities. Duragender. Hey, you're rough. Having more than one gender with lasting longer than the others. Ego gender. Personal type of gender identified by the individual alone. It is based on the person's experience with oneself. Or within the self. It is associated with a strong feeling of not being able to relate. Oh, that's epicene. Number 54, episgender. S-pig gender. The individual relates their gender identity with spirits. X-gender. EX gender. The denial to identify with any gender on the gender spectrum. So you're an atheist? Existender. This person's gender identity exists only when they make conscious efforts to realize it. Number 57, femme fluid. I'm sorry, but when I see femme fluid, I don't think about a gender. Great.